CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. Calgary police have charged a man after more than 20 people were scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. An investigation found 18 separate incidents in which elderly people were phoned by someone who convinced them they were looking into suspicious bank transactions. The victims were then convinced to hand over bank cards, iPads and cell phones to a person posing as a courier. Police allege a man then used the bank cards to buy luxury items and make large cash withdrawals. More than 20 people were scammed out of $186,000 over 5 weeks. 31-year-old Joshman Gerald Garnett was arrested in Richmond, BC. He faces 18 charges of fraud and 1 count each of identity theft and uttering a forged passport. The number of MLAs facing recalls continues to grow. Alberta's chief electoral officer approving 3 more petition applications today. NDP MLA Peggy Wright and UCP MLAs Justin Wright and Ron Wiebe are now facing recall. That brings the total number of approved petitions to 26. 2 are directed at NDP MLAs. The rest are UCP MLAs, including the Premier. Alberta's chief electoral officer says verifying each petition costs over $300,000. Elections Alberta has approved a petition for a referendum question about Alberta separating from Canada. Because of changes the UCP made to its legislation, multiple questions can now be asked about the same topic, and questions no longer need to be constitutional. The Alberta Prosperity Project will have 4 months to get the 177,000 signatures needed in order to get the question on a ballot. One political analyst says it's a tall task.
Assuming they get the requisite number of signatures, they've got 4 months to do it. So it's a lower threshold than the other referendum, the one about staying in Canada. But assuming this one also gets approved, the question becomes, will both of them be put to Albertans in a referendum at the same time?
Williams adds she believes we're in for some feisty debates in Alberta over the coming months. Alberta has now surpassed 2,000 confirmed measles cases since the outbreak started this spring. There are 8 new cases since last week's update. 7 are in the North Zone and 1 in the Central Zone. Since March, there's been 2,003 confirmed cases of the measles in Alberta. The best protection against the highly infectious disease is 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. Enhanced masking is now in effect for 4 Edmonton hospitals, including the Children's Hospital there. That means masking is required for all patients and visitors. Alberta Health Services says mandatory masking is based on several factors, including the number, size, and impact of respiratory virus outbreaks. A house fire last night in the Northeast ended up damaging 2 homes. The call came in around 10:30. When firefighters arrived, there was black smoke coming out of a home on Fallshire Way. Officials say that home is no longer livable and the owners are now staying with family. The other home suffered minor damage. The investigation into the cause continues. And just after 11 o'clock last night, firefighters were called to a building under construction in the southeast. Flames were visible when fire crews arrived. A fire investigator says the cause was determined to be accidental. Police have charged a man in connection to 2 recent arsons. The first one happened in November at Bridget Bar along 10th Avenue in the southwest. There was significant damage to the kitchen, dining areas, and a washroom. Last week, a fire started a few blocks away at Salt and Brick Restaurant. Police releasing surveillance photos of the suspect. 34-year-old Alden Crowchild is facing a number of charges, including 2 counts of arson. Thousands of Albertans southeast of Edmonton have had little to no cell service for at least 48 hours. On Sunday morning, just east of Daysland, a TELUS cell phone tower was badly damaged, as was the building beside it and the fence surrounding it. The mayor says this is the first time the town has experienced an outage like this. It could be 8 or 9 months before the tower is repaired. In the meantime, TELUS is sending a cell tower trailer to the community to help with service speed.
What we know right now is 1 or more suspects entered the area, and we believe cut one of the guide wires to the tower, causing its ultimate collapse.
RCMP say the damage is worth more than $800,000. A home in Clare's home that helped shape the early history of health services in a southern Alberta community is receiving new protections. The Dr. McMillan residence has been given a provincial historical resource designation from the Alberta government. The home was constructed in 1916 with a dual-purpose design, serving as both a home and a medical office, complete with an operating room and an X-ray machine. For more than 20 years, it was occupied by 3 successive doctors. The new designation provides legal protection to recognize and preserve historical places. While people get ready for the holiday season in all kinds of ways, some put lights up outside their home along with a tree and a few decorations inside, but others transform every room in their house into a Christmas theme. A couple on an acreage near Pritis has turned their home into a Christmas wonderland, and work begins in October. Kevin Fleming reports.
She grew up in Colombia and moved to Canada 10 years ago. That's when Rosia Prieto married her husband Rob Jaycock. Prieto brought her culture to the couple's acreage.
Okay, in Colombia, Christmas is just happiness, gathering, families cheering on the streets together, lights everywhere, food, music, dancing.
The decorations start going up in mid-October. Many have been added over the years, and now they fill the couple's home.
I start with my decoration inside, and every year I try to do more and more and more because this is my passion. This is something that I really enjoy.
Jaycock's favorite decorations are in his office. He helps out where he can, but is responsible for all the outdoor lights.
I mean, there's a lot of work to it. There's no doubt the amount that my wife Rocio does inside is so much more than the stuff that I have to do outside with the lights.
The couple host parties every year for family, friends, neighbors, and work colleagues, but also their children.
I really, really, really love to see kids running on the house, playing, enjoying. It's something fantastic.
Prieto purchases decorations throughout the year and buys what she likes, but she also makes many of them, and her favorites are elves, and they're everywhere. Karen Swartz-Beals lives close by and spends a lot of time here over the holidays.
I know with Rocio, like, she throws her doors open to the neighborhood, to friends, and people love that. She's such a giver. And when you come in, you just feel that love, and you can't but be happy when you leave.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, near Pritis.
Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on the CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnewscalgary.ca.